What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support. What is up, friends? Thank you for joining us on Sports from the Couch here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, and thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Before we get on with this show, we are recording this on September 11th, 2018, so obviously we want to give remembrance and prayers and our thoughts to all those that we lost. September 11th, 2001, I was 11 years old when it happened. Just like everybody else, I remember exactly where I was. I remember exactly how I was told, and, that the monetization of Never Forget and 9/11 is kind of gross to me, but the sentiment for most good, honest people stood the same over the years, and I'm not going to let my cynicism get in the way of that, and, the pride that we had and the way we made heroes out of our first responders for that time. And I'm hoping one day we get to a point where our first responders are back to being our heroes like so many other people in our lives, along with getting along with everybody, having civil pride, having civil love for one another and respect for one another. And, days like this should bring that back home. And just like anything else, it's already been politicized, and it's going to get more like that, polarizing over the next few hours of this day. But stay true to what it's always been about, and that's loving one another and having pride in our country and our fellow man and loving each other. And one of the wonderful, beautiful things about this country is the fact that we get to watch, obsess all over sports, and that is what we're doing today because it was a jam-packed weekend. We are going to stay focused a little bit here in Chicago. That is where we're based here, all over the Mercado Airwaves Network. You can follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. I'm on Instagram. See what we're up to behind the scenes at instagram.com/MikeMercado2333. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Download us anywhere you get your favorite podcasts at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us. It means the world to us. And a thank you to all our sponsors at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to hear any of our interviews with athletes or celebrities ad-free and before anybody else, or you would like to bring your ad to a huge, diverse group of audience, please visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. So why do we get into the big news on Sunday Night Football? Week 1 is in the books. And boy, oh boy, the more things change, the more they stay the same as the Green Bay Packers beat the Chicago Bears 23-24 after the Bears were up 20-0. And it seemed like Aaron Rodgers was out of this game. And sure enough, Aaron Rodgers has himself one of the most historic moments that anybody can ever have. He solidifies himself as if he needed to do anything else. And, the stat line, 20 for 30, 286 for 3 touchdowns. Unbelievable. Trubisky goes 23 for 35, 171 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Jordan Howard, awesome game, 82 yards on only 15 carries. One of my biggest problems from that game is the fact that we did not see more Jordan Howard. The offensive line was pushing the ball forward. The Green Bay Packers were on the ropes when it came to Howard, and there were so many points, and we'll get into it in a little bit, that Howard needed the ball, and they did not give it to him, and they were not able to put this game away. Aaron Rodgers, let's get into this first. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. There's nothing else you can say about it. He's a freak. There's no one else like him, and it just sucks that it so happens, if you're a Bears fan, that he's in your division. But there's nothing you can do about it. He's the greatest quarterback that we have ever seen. That's including Tom Brady. That's including Peyton Manning. That's including Drew Brees. That's including Phillip Rivers. Name whoever you want to. He's the best we've ever seen. And some are going to give him crap for only having the one championship. By the way, it's not over yet, but only having one championship. I mean, come on. I understand the Dan Marino, if he had 2 titles, he'd be considered the greatest ever. But if that's what we're determining what makes a great player, then I think we're a little naive. And a lot of that, especially in this sport, where the turnaround has a lot to do with attrition and not just you trying to put up as many points as you can, because guess what? You got to stop the other team. And for how long have the Packers not able to do that? You saw with Don Capers. Like, we saw what they did. So, Aaron Rodgers is a bad dude. And it goes into probably the next best player on that field. And on any other game is the best player playing. And he makes the biggest difference. And hell, he did that first half single-handedly with 10 points on the board. And that's Khalil Mack. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And obviously after what we saw on Monday Night Football with the Rams and the Raiders could have used him. But obviously if you're an NFL fan, you know, and if you have some sense of vision and you could kind of put biases aside, you could kind of see what Oakland's doing. They're trying to rebuild. They're trying to do it their way when they move to Oakland. Is Derek Carr their starting quarterback then? That's another question we might get into as the weeks go on. But specifically with Khalil Mack, he's a monster. He's everything that was promised. He's everything that was promised. What else could you have asked for him? I mean, this is the type of player where you see him around other great players, other good players. These are all good players during the NFL. And he just looks special. He looks different. There's something unique to him. There's an it factor. Not many players are like that. We saw it with Urlacher, but we've seen it with good defensive players. Trevathan's a good defensive player. You know, like we've seen it here in this city. We've seen good players. Even Lance Briggs. Think about guys like that, right? Think about how great we thought Lance Briggs was for the longest time. And think about how great we thought Urlacher was. Now, look at the type of animal on the field Khalil Mack is compared to those two guys. It's different. It's a different speed. And we're talking about 2 of the greatest linebackers that have ever played on, historically, a great linebacker heritage of the Chicago Bears. And Khalil Mack looks like a unicorn compared to these guys. He impacts the game anytime he's on the field. You have to account for him, whether he has hands on the ground or not. And the crazy thing is, he wasn't in game shape. I mean, obviously he's a freak athlete. He's always in shape, but he wasn't in game shape. That is crazy. This Bears team has something special on defense, and it starts with Khalil Mack. I would love to see Roquan Smith get out there, only 8 plays. Obviously, with that holdout, how much, and the injury later on in training camp. But that is a nice 1-2 punch right there. With Trevathan and the rest of Hicks, that defense can be special. That front 7 can be special. And we got to acknowledge the elephant in the room with Kyle Fuller missing that interception with about a minute and a half left. Sealed the game, take it back to the house, put it away. You start up 1-0 and you put away the Packers. And who knows where Aaron Rodgers goes from here for the rest of the season. I don't think the Bears are anything special when it comes to like Super Bowl contention or anything like that. Come if they win that game and then come the rest of the season. But that win would have been huge for Nagy, for Trubisky, for that defense, for that effort that was given. And they weren't able to put it away. You have to come down with that. Got to come down with that, especially after they pay you. And it's against a team that they paid against to get you back in Kyle Fuller. Got to come up with it. You know, I'm not mad if you get beat. You know, like a lot of people get mad if a wide receiver makes a great play or something on the field happens like that. Everybody gets paid out there to do something. You got to have effort. It's always about the effort, but everybody's getting paid out there. So you're going to get beat. But mental mistakes like that cannot happen because they cost you a game. And that's one of them. And I'm not going to put it on Kyle Fuller. That is one mistake amongst many, including Nagy. I like Coach Nagy. I think he's going to be a good coach. Other than those first 15 plays, him and Trubisky were struggling. The play calling was very interesting. There was a lot of cute stuff that was going on 3rd and 1s that didn't need to happen. And we can get specific on it, but the idea, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're already a few days into this. You've heard the breakdown on there. But it's true. They got cute. And then they got timid. But let's get into what it all comes down to. We heard how much Nagy liked Patrick Mahomes. Is Trubisky a better quarterback than Pat Mahomes? Deshaun Watson? Sam Darnold? I don't know. And everything we're talking about now, the Matt Nagy offense, Khalil Macks Hall of Fame defensive style and what he brings to the table, none of it matters if Trubisky isn't good. He doesn't have to be great. But if you have a great defense, an elite defense, you can sneak a Super Bowl championship in that window of a rookie contract for a quarterback. That's halfway decent. That can manage, that won't cost you a game, that can make a big play every once in a while. It doesn't have to be Aaron Rodgers. But if he's no good, you got problems, and none of this matters. They got pieces, though. Jordan Howard was catching passes. He looked good. We hadn't seen that last season. Allen Robinson doesn't have the same burst I thought we were hoping for, but he has such great hands. And hopefully it was a Blake Bortles thing and not so much a Allen Robinson thing down in Jacksonville now that he's up here in Chicago. I would like to see more from Trey Burton. I would like to see more from Tariq Cohen, who looked fast, looked good, but I would like to see more. And after we saw with Tyreek Hill, I obviously not the same player, but I would like to see some creativity get out there. They have pieces. They got to put it together. And you need to give Jordan Howard the ball more. 20-0. Lose 23-24. Got to put those teams away. That's the difference. That's the thin line between winning and losing in the National Football League in 2018 is right there. There's some good to take out of this Bears game. There are. We're a few days past it now, and you've had time to sit on it. It was a tough loss. It was a tough one because you could feel it coming. And when you're seeing little things like Trubisky's eyes hitting the ground first and him being hesitant on certain passes, and no, it's enough. There was enough to really startle you a little bit, especially after that craziness that was that first half. But it is what it is, and it's time now to move on, if you're a Bears fan, to the Seattle Seahawks. And we will also keep tabs to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers over the next few days to see if he plays and how serious the injury is. Apparently the word is that doctor says you can't hurt it anymore. You don't hear that too often with the knee, so that should be very interesting. But stick with us here on Sports from the Couch. We're going to read your Facebook posts from pre, post, and during the Bears-Packers game. Some funny stuff there. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Sports from the Couch. I'm Mike Mercado. Keep it with us. What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support. Michael Kopech has Tommy John surgery to end the season, and the Chicago Cubs keep dropping games, can't get their offense going. And now the Milwaukee Brewers are only one game back. Really fast about the Kopech thing. It's sad. I know a lot of White Sox fans and Cub fans like to root against the other team. I know a lot of people give fans a hard time and cheer against players, but that is something you never want to see. And theoretically, the hope is you get this Tommy John surgery done now, and Kopech could come back and be a dominant pitcher in 2020. And you just hope that they're ready then. That Eloy is up, that he stays healthy, that Moncada is able to turn it around. I wonder what they're going to do with Abreu. But they got pieces, man. The White Sox got pieces. Stay patient. Stay with it. This is part of it. Not everybody's Houston and the Cubs where you just stay healthy. And we'll get to that in just a second. Injuries catch up to everybody at some point. You just got to overcome it. And at this point in the rebuild, you got to stay patient with it. And just keep getting assets if you're the White Sox. And on the north side, look, there's not much more you can say than they're just not hitting. And it's not just not hitting, they're not healthy. John Lester leaves the game with back spasms. It seems like the back issues have been going all over this Cubs team. Chris Bryant was hurt for 40 games? And even before that, Addison Russell was having an abysmal season. Wilson Contreras has not been what people thought he was going to be after the 2016 season. That bullpen has been used so much. We have no idea what's happening with Brandon Morrow. All this, and we're not even talking about Yu Darvish. Because you can't talk about him. He's done for this. Like, you can't even, that's not part of the equation anymore. This Cubs team has gone through a lot, and now they're going to have 30 straight games because of the rainouts in Washington. It's craziness right now for the Cubs. And about a month ago, I remember I told a friend of the show, Paul, that I thought it was pretty locked. The Cubs are going to win this division. I don't know. I still think they're the best team in that division when healthy. They're not healthy right now. Daniel Murphy has been a huge blessing, whether you like him or not, as an addition. Cole Hamels, the same thing. But eventually, you're going to need Chris Bryant to carry you, like Javi did in so much of the season. Javi's kind of cooled down a little bit. There's a lot. There's a lot that you need to keep your eye on with this Cubs team. It's not all roses and daisies. And then, quite honestly, for the longest time, Quintana hasn't been doing much this season. Hendricks has finally kind of got his command down. And he needs to, because he's not a powerhouse, so he needs to be able to hit the corners, and he needs to be given those pitches sometimes. John Lester, his analytics have now looked good. It was a matter of time till the bottom dropped off, and we've kind of seen it. We've seen him fight a lot. We've seen him fight through a lot of things because he's a bulldog. But the numbers say he was due for it. And quite honestly, this Brewers team is just hot. Hader is hot. Yelich is hot. Kane is hot. They're just on it right now. There's nothing. It seems like there's nothing they could do wrong right now. And as of September 11th, we're getting to that point where the attrition is going to start taking over. And at some point, I thought this Milwaukee team was just going to kind of drop, especially after not going after a top-tier pitcher during the offseason, during the hot stove of the All-Star break. I was a little surprised about that. But nonetheless, Cubs going to do something. Only a game lead right now. And you cannot get in that one-game wild card elimination game. You got to avoid it. Not so much because you're going to lose. It's a toss-up game. Anything can happen. You need to get to a series. That's the point. And even at this point, after everything that's being said, after all the injuries, mortgage on the line, I'm still picking the Cubs in every series in the National League. You can't make an argument that anybody's better than them. There are some teams that are going to be more hot than them. There's some teams that are going to be more healthy than them. But toe-to-toe on a game-to-game matchup in a series, the Cubs have just as good a chance as anybody to win. And if somehow they survive this September and they have a little luck down this way, would you want to play the Chicago Cubs come October? What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the office. I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support. Alrighty, guys, why don't we do some quick hits before we get the heck up out of here? For all you fight fans, Tyron Woodley defends the welterweight champion, beating Darren Till in a showcase of how bad of a man he is. I like Tyron. So for me, I'm glad that he won that fight. We're waiting to see the Madison Square Garden card. And if you missed it, if you go in our archives, we actually talked to the UFC women's featherweight champion, Nico Montano. At least she was a champion before she was stripped because she couldn't make the fight due to injury and some interesting stuff. But check out the interview nonetheless. It was very interesting. So another big thing for you fight fans, Canelo versus Triple G, Part 2, September 15th, 2018 on pay-per-view. God, I was so hyped about Triple G Canelo 1. I was a diehard Canelo fan. And the steroid things doesn't even bother me. It is what it is, whatever. What bothers me was just how big of a ripoff that fight was, because Triple G clearly won. And it went back to the point that I said it during the pre-fight, lead up, that if Triple G didn't put him away, Canelo was going to win by decision, even if it wasn't that close. And if it was close, I thought Canelo was going to straight out win that fight if it was close. This time around, I think there's going to be a winner. I think there's going to be a decisive winner. This is a fight that got pushed back because of Canelo's steroid tacos. This is a fight that has no promotion because of the controversy and the fact that the steroids really bumped it off. From the May fight, it really just bummed everybody out. So if I had to take a guess, I think I'll go Triple G. You know what? I take that back. I'll go with what I think boxing wants to happen. I think Canelo wins in a decision. I think it goes all 12 rounds. And before we get out of here, why don't we go down a quick rundown of your Sunday week 1 results, and then we'll go into week 2 for you guys. The Falcons beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday Night Football 12-18. The Buffalo Bills got steamrolled by the Baltimore Ravens 47-3. The Jaguars beat the New York Giants 2015. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers surprised the world and eliminated everybody from Survivor pool picks, beating the New Orleans Saints 48-40. Ryan Fitzpatrick goes ape. The Houston Texans lose to the New England Patriots 27-20. The 49ers lose to the Minnesota Vikings 24-16. Kirk Cousins making his debut for the Vikes. The Titans lose to the Dolphins 27-20, losing Delaney Walker in the longest game ever because of a lightning delay. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the returning Andrew Luck and Indianapolis Colts 34-23. The Kansas City Chiefs roll all over the San Diego Chargers, my Super Bowl pick from the AFC, because Tyreek Hill is a human joystick, 38-28. The Seahawks lose to the Denver Broncos 27-24. The Cowboys lose to the Panthers 8-16 in one of the most boring games of the week. Washington rolls all over the Arizona Cardinals 24-6. On Sunday Night Football, the Chicago Bears drop a 20-0 lead to the Green Bay Packers, losing 23-24. Aaron Rodgers, one of the games that he will be talked about for the rest of his career, and in an amazing fashion as well. And of course, we didn't skip over it. The most Browns thing to do, but if anything, it's more of a slap to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns tie Pittsburgh 21-21. Have the tides changed? I don't know, guys. Could Cleveland be good? What? And on Monday night, Aaron Donald lights it up, 48-17. The Jets beat the Lions. Matthew Stafford got rocked, and that ball was taken everywhere, was thrown everywhere, except for his receivers. Interesting stuff. The Jets could have a really good defense. And to end the night, the LA Rams beat the Oakland Raiders 33-13. John Gruden. It's going to be a long 2 years for you Oakland fans. I'm sorry. Hopefully you guys become Las Vegas fans, because it seems like that's all they are worried about. So why don't we look into week 2 of your matchups? It is Baltimore versus Cincinnati on Thursday night. You got the Chiefs versus the Steelers. Dolphins take on the Jets. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Your Cleveland Browns take on the New Orleans Saints. The Colts take on Washington. It is Chargers versus Bills. Vikings versus Packers in a very interesting matchup for all you Bears fans to see whether Aaron Rodgers plays and what happens to this division with the two 1-1 teams. The Carolina Panthers take on the Atlanta Falcons in an AFC South matchup. That's going to be an interesting game. Atlanta needs to bounce back. Houston takes on Tennessee in another divisional matchup. Very interesting to see what Marcus Mariota does after getting bummed around, hurt his hand. So we should see what happens with that. The Arizona Cardinals take on the LA Rams. The Detroit Lions take on the San Francisco 49ers. It is the Oakland Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. In the rematch of the AFC Championship game, it is the New England Patriots versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Your Sunday night game, the Dallas Cowboys take on the New York Giants. And on Monday Night Football, it is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Bears. Oh, guys, it has been a jam-packed show. Thank you so much for joining us on this one. But I promised you before we got out of here, we would read some funny stuff. So why don't we just go down memory lane and see what some of us posted during the Bears game, okay? The tears in my eyes watching this offense right now. Someone hold me. That was during the game. It ended up a little bit different. How about this one? Bears are winning. They heard A-Rod. K-Mac took the ball away from the backup QB, and Mitchell's actually completing passes to Allen Robinson. Can I please wake up from this Bears fan euphoria, that is? We all did. Anyone looking at this Bears offense right now and going, who the hell are these guys? Loving the offense right now. Oh, my goodness. All right, how about we go into some post game. All the Packer fans out there talking shit. Y'all beat the Bears. It's not really an accomplishment that you snuck by the Bears. Not sure why we stopped running our offense the way we were in the first two quarters. Oh my goodness. Chicago had some of the worst fans. Green Bay Packers just whipped my Chicago Bears butt. Rodgers took them to school while he was hurt. Unbelievable. I'm still a Bear fan for now. Mac did a great job too. I'm still a Bears fan for now. I lost a bet and have to use a Green Bay pick as a profile pick for the next week. Please don't hate on me for it when I post here. I'm a Bears fan through and through. Oh, goodness. The Bears deserve to lose this game. If you know a guy who depends on mobility to make his plays last is on his one knee, why don't you pressure him? You were too conservative defensively. It is so true. Here you go. All right, we got last ones right here. Mitch is not good at all. And Kowalski is the pimple on the perfect ass that is this Bears defense. I love you, Bears fans. I love you, Chicago. And I love each and every one of you for joining us on Sports from the Couch. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. You can follow me everywhere on social media. I'm on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see us behind the scenes on Instagram, instagram.com/MikeMercado2333. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and see all our postings at youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Download us anywhere you get your favorite podcasts at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share it. It will mean the world to us. And of course, a huge thank you to all our sponsors at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to hear our interviews with athletes and celebrities ad-free and before anybody else, or you would like to bring your ad to or brand to a huge diverse group of audience, please visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports from the Couch. I'm Mike Mercado. We'll see you next time here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333.